COVID-19 has forced everyone to adjust to a new way of life and a new way of working. But the career effects of the pandemic have not been equitable for all industries. The pandemic has been scary and it has overtaken our lives. And for those who have suffered disruption to their livelihood, I am here to tell you that the opportunity exists to start a new chapter. We believe in new beginnings, new opportunities, and new quests. This is the tone for the GSS Virtual Talent Hub Fair 2021. We want to advise individuals that opportunity exists to commence a new journey or quest in the global services sector. My name is Julaire Hall, and thank you for joining our third optimization pre-fair session. Just in case you missed the first two sessions, we did one on structuring your resume and preparing for your interview, and another on what recruiters are looking for in a candidate. If you missed them, do not worry. You can watch them on our YouTube channel, Global Services Sector, Jamaica. So how are you feeling? Are you as excited as I am about this virtual career fair? 2 days to go. Have you registered as yet? If you are just joining us, I'd like to remind you that the GSS Virtual Talent Hub Fair commences on Thursday, June 24th at 9 a.m. Registration is still open for those who have not yet registered. Check our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter for details and the registration link to complete your registration. Make sure you tell a friend so that they can tell a friend who will then tell a friend about this event. There are over 4,000 entry-level to mid-level opportunities available in various fields: finance and banking, insurance, IT, HR, compliance, customer service, tech support, and more. The firms that will be recruiting includes KPMG Jets Jamaica, Sutherland, Conduit Jamaica, Vistaprint, T-Tech, ITEL, Digital Jamaica, Continuum Global, Concentrix, Ibex Global, Hinduja Global Solutions, Real Decoy, and StarTech. Not actively looking for a job, but would really love to learn more about this buzzing sector? Join us and tune into the various industry discussions on various elements of the sector. KPO, which is knowledge process outsourcing, ITO, information technology outsourcing, shared services, and more. There will be numerous prizes, gifts, and giveaways you can win and will get by participating in this fair. Every registered participant will be eligible to access iCreate's Digital Awareness Certificate Program. This is a chance for you to learn about social media customer service, cybersecurity, digital marketing, email marketing, and more. Play fast fingers with Digicel and win credits so you can stay connected all day. Win coffee beans from Defcam. Win local and international brands digital gift cards from Blink Sky and other giveaways from our exhibitors. We have branded items, gift baskets, and a bag of things. You may have noted that one of the event-related hashtags in our marketing is Step into a New Career. So today, we're going to level with you and provide some perspective on rebounding from this pandemic and making the most of opportunities that may arise in this sector, the global services sector. Our guest today is Mr. Rickon Leslie. Rickon has led the recruiting arm of Caribbean HR Solutions for the past 5 years. He has a strong BPO background, which allowed him to transition smoothly into the role of filling high-volume recruiting roles for similar contact centers. He has since transitioned to filling more executive and managerial roles. Rickon has a lot of experience recruiting in the Jamaican market. He was instrumental in supporting many new investors to Jamaica with their startup recruiting operations, from startup to over 1,000 employees. He has also recruited for most of the different industries within the country. These include finance and accounting, telecommunications, construction, microfinance, automotive, medical cannabis, manufacturing, and more. And he has filled critical roles such as sales and marketing manager, director of operations, general manager, account manager, payroll manager, and more. Help me welcome Rickon. Hi, Rickon.
Hi,
Thank you
Jalir.
for thank you for graciously accepting our invitation to
Sure,
participate in this session.
sure, anytime. Thank you for the introduction. Really happy to be here today and being able to speak with everyone about repositioning yourself for greater opportunities during this pandemic that we're all facing.
Thank you.
All right, so let me just go ahead and share my screen. All right. All right, here we go. Hope everyone is able to see my screen here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, as Julia mentioned, my name is Rickon Leslie. I am the head of recruiting with Caribbean HR Solutions. And just to tell you a bit about what we do here at Caribbean HR. So, we are a professional services company. We offer services such as HR, payroll, and recruiting services to local and international companies in Jamaica. We have worked with clients from most industries. There's probably just a few that we haven't touched just as yet, but we have clients from BPO, finance, manufacturing, medical cannabis, the energy sector, and many more. So this really puts us in a unique position. We have a front seat really to the new opportunities that are coming in, and of course the requirements that comes with these new opportunities. So I'm here today just to give you just some insider knowledge of what's needed and the changes that have taken place so far. So let's talk briefly about some of the changes that has occurred in the last 2 years since we've been facing this pandemic. Now, if you really take a look back, you'd see and you would definitely notice that COVID has fast tracked the reliance on digital connectivity, causing a change in the job market and the job prospects here as well. It's really affected every aspect of our lives. The way we eat has changed, how we work, the way how we shop or buy items, the way we study or attend school, as well as how we play and interact with our friends and socially and so on. So let's look at each of those in a bit more detail. So, for example, the way we eat, we see we're now able to order food and a lot of similar items through apps and applications, and this change has resulted in an increase in demand for app developers. So we see where the change has taken place and where it's also creating a sort of opportunity by increasing the demand for the persons who would develop these said apps that we're now so reliant on. So let me tell you a quick story. When I was in high school, I had a small operation and I was out of school for 2 weeks. So that's 2 full weeks. I had no classes and I was unable to get access to some of my most favorite foods that I would have access to at school. Now, if we should have this similar scenario in this day and age, I could connect to class easily through one of the many communication apps that are now being used. I could also pick up my phone. I could open an app such as 876 Get, and I could have pretty much any food that I need delivered right at my doorstep. So this is just one of the many examples of how we have really been impacted by this pandemic and the change that it has really forced on us, right across every aspect of our lives. We see the way how we work has significantly changed as well. We still have 40% of BPO staff that are still working from home, and that is just for BPO. We're not talking about any of the many other industries that are out there. So that means in order for you to work from home or to get a work from home job, you would need the digital equipment to facilitate this change, and you would also need the digital skills, right? So if you're working from home, you need to have the basic skills or the understanding of the technology that you're using. Yeah, you still can be able to maybe put through a phone call to your IT department, have somebody come online and try to troubleshoot and assist you, but there's only so much that could be done remotely. So you do need to have a good grasp on the skills there to interact with the technology that's now the norm that's now needed for you to facilitate the work from home and take advantage of that opportunity. We've seen significant changes as well in how we shop and how we buy items. In addition to popular mediums such as websites such as Amazon.com or 6pm.com, we see a lot of purchasing happening through social media, for example, right? There's been a significant increase in the amount of businesses that are now operating on social mediums and on social media as well. So you're able to really order pretty much a variety of items through social media and have them delivered to you in a similar fashion. So in order for you to again take advantage of this, you need to be digitally literate. As the consumer, you need to be able to interface with the technology, with the various platforms in order to make that purchase. And on the other end, the seller as well would need to interface smoothly with that device or platform as well in order to facilitate the purchase there for you as a consumer. So we can see that it's a definite need. We do need these skills. We do need to know how to use these technologies and how to move with these changes that are taking place. We can clearly see that we have changes in the way how we study or attend school. There's been a significant increase as well in online classes and online schooling at all levels. The way how we play and interact with our friends. We see a lot of persons are now interacting online more than before the pandemic, of course. So it's really forced us to, as we all know, to really not interact so much in person anymore, and in turn, everyone has moved that interaction online as well. So we're seeing where the COVID-19 virus has really caused significant changes across all aspects of our lives. It has created some opportunities, has regrettably taken a few opportunities away as well. But with this change, as we've pointed out, it does come with new opportunities. And with these new opportunities, we would need to have some new skills to take advantage of these opportunities as well. So, what is really needed? Digital skills is really at the forefront. It's a number one requirement as to what is required in this day and age with this change that has been brought upon us. No, these skills are no the normal requirement, and they're not exceptions anymore for many jobs. We would have all been familiar with applications such as Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Outlook, Microsoft Teams, Zooms as well as a communication app. But there's a lot of us that have still not mastered how to use these apps, and these apps are now the basic requirement, especially for these new opportunities that are taking place. In order for you to work from home, it's almost a must that you would use at least 90% of these apps that are listed. So we need to ensure that we're not just aware of these apps, we are mastering and upskilling our talents and our skills towards being able to efficiently use these commonly used apps that are now the new normal. We have to be able to use these now, guys. There's no going around those. All right. We are seeing quite a lot of new opportunities, new roles, new prospects that are coming in, and an increase in demand in some already familiar areas as well. As recruiters here at Caribbean HR Solutions, we again we have that front seat, so we do clearly see the new roles that are coming in, and we have a good insight as well as with the new requirements that are needed for these new roles. All right, we have clients that are coming in that are looking for gaming support. So persons who are gamers, they enjoy playing games, enjoy troubleshooting games and providing support in that aspect. This is an opportunity here for you as well. We're seeing an increase in digital marketing jobs. So persons who would be doing things such as social media marketing or paid per click ads or marketing as well, versus traditional ways of marketing. We are seeing a change as well in the moving industry in the US. We have a client that has significantly incorporated the technology into their processes. So you're able to you're able to pick up a phone as norm if you're moving in the states, and you can make a phone call to a moving company such as U-Haul. And not only now do you get, of course, the means to move your various aspects, your various equipments or furnitures, but this client here has taken it a step further to where you're now able to interact with the customer via video call. So imagine you're reaching out via video, you're speaking with the customer, you're seeing inside of their house, they're showing you all their equipment, all their furniture, their artworks, all the various and variety of things that needs to be transported from point A to point B, and you can guide them accordingly. So this is just one of the examples of how the digital aspect has been really incorporated into regular normal activities that would have not been, probably not been done as efficiently before. Of course, we're seeing an increase in software sales with the heavy dependence on softwares and apps. This increase in demand would naturally create an increase in sales here as well. We're seeing roles that involve digital remote HR management. So imagine you're in HR, you're an HR manager, an HR officer, you're responsible for 100 or 200 employees across various sites. It's no longer okay for you to visit each site individually and interact with these employees. So we now have to incorporate the technology to assist with that. So what you're now doing is assisting remotely with a piece of technology or a piece of software. You're able to provide that HR support through this digital remote HR management software. So this is an example, guys, of really how the technology has been incorporated into pretty much everything that we do. The pandemic has forced us along this road to where we're now heavily dependent on these various apps and softwares and pieces of technology. So the digital skills, it goes without saying, you definitely need to have these skills in order to be able to keep up with the change and to utilize these various apps and softwares that are now being used, or that we are now being forced to use, if you want to think about it in that light, because of this pandemic. So we definitely need to work on on our skills, our digital skills, guys. Not just the skills, but new ways of developing these skills. All right, so we have various communication tools and platforms. Zoom, as we mentioned before. There's Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, as well as a variety of other popular and widely used apps and softwares that we definitely need to upskill ourselves on. Now, upskilling might sound, a bit of might sound a bit much, a bit complicated, but it's not really that difficult, guys. We have various ways that we can proactively upskill our own talent. You know, there's YouTube, which provides variety of videos on everything that you need. That's one way in which you can proactively research and practice and develop your skills in each of these platforms. I know the GSS also offers short courses in which can also assist in development. And there's a variety of other online platforms that offer similar courses, such as Allison Online. There's also Udemy. All of these platforms, Google Garage is also a good one. All these platforms provide opportunities for you to, you know, take these short courses as a way of developing yourself and upskilling yourself to put you in a better position to take advantage of these new and upcoming opportunities that are coming available here. So we have to remember the need is there to reposition yourself to access these opportunities that are now available in the GSS. And in order to access these opportunities, of course, you have to develop these new skills. You have to develop yourself as well. Now we have to get into the mode of constantly be, relearning and learning new things. So it's learn, unlearn, and relearn. So you wanna be open to change, because again, everything has changed right across the board. So you have to be in a mode of constant relearning, where you're able to learn a piece of technology, for example, learn how it works, be able to interact with it, and to take advantage to use that as a new skill. we may have another change tomorrow, or at some point we may be forced to change to something new. That is how it is nowadays. So you really have to be in that mode of constant upskilling, constant learning, lifelong learning, and try to continuously develop yourself to put you in a better position to take advantage of these opportunities. Now, the changes happen right across the board. It's affected everyone. So while you are changing as well, your potential employers are also changing as well. And we've seen quite a few ways in which employers are now engaging with potential employees or candidates. Video interviewing is now the new norm. We have quite a lot of candidates, or I'm sorry, quite a lot of clients who are now reaching out to candidates via video, doing a two-way video interviews, or even a preliminary video interview, just to just to avoid that 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 interaction again that has been forced on us by COVID-19. So again, we want to ensure that we're familiar with these new needs, these new norms, with the change brought on by COVID-19. We're now spending majority of our times online, so we will get to a point eventually where it's going to be more likely that a recruiter will conduct a background check on your digital footprint, because we're just spending so much time online. So you want to make sure that you remember to be careful of what you post, how you conduct yourself online, as this will now be a factor in, if you're employed or if you're allowed access to a new opportunity. So, in summary, guys, we have seen significant change across the entire world, every aspect of our lives. The COVID-19 has had that significant impact on everything right across the board. Right? So it's really forced us to change. This change has brought about new clients or new prospects. These prospects are coming with new opportunities for us and for you as well. And in order for you to take advantage of these new opportunities, of course, you have to develop and come with new skills that would enable you to take advantage of these set opportunities. So you want to ensure that you're preparing yourself, you're proactively upskilling and developing yourself so that when these opportunities are here, you're definitely ready to take advantage of these opportunities. Organizations such as the GSS are making sure that the industry is ready for you. What I would need you to ask yourself is if you are ready to take advantage of these opportunities. Are you ready for this industry? Because if not, unfortunately, you will be left behind. So you want to keep up with the change. You want to develop your skills, develop yourself, and make sure that when these new opportunities arrive, you are ready to take advantage of these opportunities. All right. Um, with that, that's come to my end of my presentation. Want to thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. It was my pleasure speaking with you as well.
Okay, thank you, Rickon. Thank you for that presentation. I mean, it was very detailed. I must underscore some points that you mentioned because we are, in fact, having a
Hmm.
virtual career fair, right? So, for
Definitely.
instance, you mentioned the importance of digital literacy, which, I
Hmm.
mean, in this day and age, it is very important. So, for persons who are looking for opportunities in the sector as well as to attend the fair, they will have to know how to maneuver their equipment, whether it is they're joining via phone, tablets, or laptop, or whatever the case may be, as well as to be able to navigate the platform itself.
Hmm.
So it is important. And as you mentioned, knowing how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, and all those key softwares or platforms. I also wanted to thank you for putting the plug about the GSS project and what we do. I know Marjorie wouldn't, let it slide that upskilling and reskilling came up, and I said nothing. So thank you for that. I mean, it's
Sure,
very
sure.
important in positioning yourself to know what the skills are that are required, the hard skills and the soft skills. What is it that I possess as a person, and what are
Hmm.
the areas that I need to strengthen, in terms of accessing those opportunities. But on the point of new careers and accessing careers, I must say it is my duty to highlight some of the opportunities that are available at our virtual career fair. So that persons out there who have learned all that you've just said, can now apply it in their search for accessing one of these opportunities.
New
So as
opportunities.
you mentioned, you highlighted certain areas, the field of IT, HR, which also by extension includes like talent development and so forth. So there are opportunities: talent acquisition officer, accounting officer, tax senior associates, sales agents, technical support agent or help desk agent, lodging and hospitality associates, which is very new to me, but it is available. Workforce management analyst, content creator, you mentioned digital marketing, that's
Hmm.
an element. Operations manager, sports and entertainment associate, another new area. Quality assurance analyst, software engineer, you mentioned software and app
Hmm. App
development,
development, yes.
right? And of course, web content management, systems engineer, and so forth. So I just wanted to, throw that out there. We've been saying that we have over 4,000 entry level to middle level opportunities, and I just wanted persons to hear some of the job roles that are currently vacant, so that they can
Hmm.
go on over. I'm not seeing any questions as yet. But I just wanted to say, in the spirit of us hosting a fair, right? We talk about choosing the right job, or, which career field is right for us or for you. So what about, whether or not the company is right for you? So persons will be logging on. There are, I think, 20 companies, of which 15 will be recruiting, 14, 15 will be recruiting.
Hmm.
You might have some applying or some having the same opportunities, but how do you position yourself, to apply for the right company, or how do you determine which of these companies, is right for you?
Okay. Well, I think there's a few easy ways that you could do that. If you want to determine if a company is the right fit for you, of course, being on the outside, you won't have a solid idea of what the company culture is like. So one of the ways that you could look into that is to easily do some research. Majority of these companies, if not all, have a website. Their website speaks to their culture in length, what they do, what they don't do, what they stand for. So you can definitely visit the company's website, take a look at some of their clients, some of their testimonials. There's a I'm pretty sure there's always a page that's dedicated to the actual culture of the organization. So that's one way that you can really determine if the company is for you. In determining if you are for the company, if you want to, if I can phrase it that way, if your skills are aligned with what the company is looking for, then in that case, then you want to take a look, or you want to pay attention to really the requirements of the job. One thing that's always guaranteed to be there when you're applying is a job description, which really lists the responsibilities as well as some of the requirements for the job, or most of the requirements. So you want to ensure that you also go through that in detail. I've personally seen a lot of persons who apply for jobs, and I can once I look at the resume and look at the requirements and responsibilities, I can tell for sure they did not read what was there.
Mhm,
So you
mhm.
want to make sure that you read the responsibilities and the requirements in detail, and ensure that your skills are aligned with what's been asked for in that regards.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that. Any tips for attending virtual networking events? I know we're now in COVID, and we don't have much of that happening, but how do we attend networking events and find a mentor to aid in the job hunting process?
Um, Well, online that can be a bit tricky. I think the best avenue in terms of networking events, and especially in finding a mentor, the best one I could recommend would really be LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional networking platform. It's not, or in comparison to social media, it's more professional for employers and employees as well. So if we're looking for networking events, I see a few of them that have been advertised through LinkedIn. There's plenty of recruiters, plenty of talent gurus that are on LinkedIn. So in terms of mentorship, and persons are pretty open on LinkedIn, especially if we're looking for a mentorship aspect. So don't be afraid to create a profile, create a professional profile. You can always reach out to one of these many individuals, for tips or for mentorship programs. I'm sure if they're not able to assist, directly, they can at least point you in the right direction.
Totally agreed. Totally agreed. I mean, I myself is on LinkedIn, and one of the things I note these days is that a lot of persons are sending you some, oh, would you like this opportunity? It's I think they're taking it out of context of what it is supposed to do, but
Hmm.
persons can actually use it to their advantage. I think we have a question from a viewer. Melanie, how can one successful in an interview if overqualified? How can one be successful in an interview if overqualified?
Okay. Well, I think that's really how you position yourself during that interview. If it is that you're overqualified, that's something that the recruiter or the hiring manager would have seen ahead of time from your resume, that if it is that you're overqualified. So if you're still brought in for that interview, it means that there is
Mm,
some interest there, even though that is the case. So once you're in front of that
mm.
interviewer or that hiring manager, it's really comes down to how you position yourself there and how you sell yourself. Even though you might think that you are overqualified for the job, you need to bring it across to that interview panel or that interviewer that this is the opportunity that you want, that you're open for. You need to speak to things like why you applied, even though you again are overqualified. So it really comes down to that opportunity there, that interaction between you and the interviewer, and how you put yourself across for that opportunity.
Okay, great. Thanks. I think we have another question. Okay, we have a lot of potential candidates from the tourist sector who are attempting to switch career path as a result of the pandemic. What are your recommendations?
From the tourist sector, well, I know there are. Well, I know one. I'm not sure if there's more than one, but I do know there's a BPO center that is kind of similar to the tourism sector. I believe they have their own. What should I say? Center that's geared towards that sector in a type of way. So I can see their transferable skills if you're coming from the tourism sector, because you would have been, for example, delivering the same customer service, the same warm, friendly, tone and attitude. That's kind of the baseline for many customer service jobs. So there are some skills there that are transferable. Short courses could help in this case as well. There are call center shorts courses out there. I'm not sure if the GSS have some of those as well. Those could help you to kind of give you an edge coming out of that sector. You may be coming with no BPO experience. So if you're able to do a short course in call center or call center operations, that could also give you an edge in making that transition into the BPO as well.
Okay, thank you. As you mentioned, coming from the tourist sector, you would have the basic skills. And what we do in the GSS project is support GSS employees in upskilling or reskilling in areas that, are relevant to the customer. So that short-term program that you are mentioning, that is
Hmm.
exactly what we do.
Oh,
But I'd like to
awesome.
mention, Melanie, that, I did mention earlier that Lodging and Hospitality Associates, there is a firm that is actually looking for persons for that role. So, and I'm sure it is related to, or it would require some of those skill sets for somebody coming from the tourism sector. So I just wanted to say that. Any more questions? So, Rican, is there anything else you'd like to say to persons that considering to attend this virtual career fair that we're having
Hmm.
in terms of, positioning themselves? Any final word on that?
Yeah, yeah. It's a great opportunity, guys. Once again, as I mentioned in the presentation, the GSS is really taking the steps to prepare you for the industry. So, there as we're having this discussion now, there's various aspects that would have been discussed leading up to the career fair, all really geared towards ensuring that you are ready for all these new opportunities. So, it's definitely an awesome program. um, Again, I want to encourage everyone as well. As we mentioned, or as I mentioned earlier, we do recruiting here ourselves. We recruit for a lot of clients here as well. So feel free to visit our website at www.caribbeanhrsolutions.com. You can check our job opportunities page just to stay updated with some of these new opportunities that are coming in as well. Um, Even if you have an opportunity there that's not ideally what you're looking for, you can still go ahead and apply. One of the first things that we do when we're recruiting here is to really go through our database to see who fits the requirements for these new jobs. So, that's one way you can definitely stay updated and take advantage of these new opportunities as well.
Okay, thank you. I was told that there is another question.
Okay.
What are your recommendations for recruiters in giving hope to persons job hunting during this challenging time?
Recommendations for recruiters. Um,
Giving hope.
okay, well, for recruiters in giving hope for job hunting, a person's job hunting. Um, as a recruiter myself, I can tell you that even though the pandemic has taken a few opportunities or kind of pushed us back somewhat, at the same time it has forced some new opportunities here as well. So we will see new opportunities in terms of new type of roles coming in. um, you'd see the same existing roles are still here, but some of them have been moved to work from home. So,
Mhm,
hope is definitely there. I can say that for sure. Plenty of employers are still employing. Plenty of opportunities are still existing and are there in the job market. So as a recruiter, you still have to be positive when you're speaking with your candidates. You have to be understanding. You have to encourage them as much as possible. The pandemic has affected everybody differently, so you
mhm.
definitely have to keep that enthusiasm and try to encourage your candidates as much as possible and work with them throughout the process as well.
Okay, thanks. A spin-off from that, Khan, what advice do you have for someone who is dealing with job application rejections during this pandemic? How can they address this?
Well, when I thought about questions after this presentation, that was one of the ones that came to mind.
Okay.
Um, so how you can address this? For one, I can tell you definitely not to give up. We
Mhm,
have all been there. We've all applied for many jobs and we've all gotten rejected many, many times. I know I have. I'm sure, Julia, you have as
mhm.
well. But,
Yeah,
here we are today, employed with years of experience under our belt. So
right.
you definitely have to keep at it. You have to bear in mind as well that plenty employers have a variety of different requirements. So again,
Mhm,
when you're applying, you want to make sure that you're going through the responsibilities and you're going through the requirements, and you make sure that you are in line with what is being asked for there. Because right straight up, if you don't meet the requirements, then you're more than likely not going to get that job. So you can send out a whole lot of applications, but you want to make sure that you're applying for ones that fits your profile and fits your resume, and that job is actually something that is for you.
I completely agree. I think there's another question. Are there opportunities for part-time employment, namely the potential for a second income stream?
Well, I'm sure they are. I can't speak to a lot, but I'm sure there are definitely part-time opportunities out there. Um, a lot of the I think I've actually seen a few through Caribbean Jobs and similar job platforms and job boards. So if you continue that search, I'm not sure what industry you're looking in, but of course, those opportunities do exist. They might not be very common, but they are
Mhm.
definitely out there.
Yes, I agreed. I was trying to remember as well if from the job forecast that was done for this event, if I had seen part-time. But if I did, it wouldn't have been a lot. But as you
Hmm.
said, that the opportunities are there,
Yeah.
So I agree. All right. Well, I think, Rakan, I'm not seeing any notifications for any more questions. And I think you've answered all the questions that I have. I mean, your presentation was very thorough. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you again for accepting our invitation and for coming on and doing your presentation and responding to the questions, etc.
Sure.
It was a very informative session, and we really, really, really appreciate it. As you mentioned, what we try to do in this series is to help persons to prepare for the fear that is coming up. And I mean, for just job hunting overall, not just for our event,
Hmm.
but we had the whole thing about how you structure your resume, you prepare for an interview, and you top it off with how you step into the new career, right? So
Yeah.
that was our aim, and we hope that that is what was received by the persons on the other end. So again, our career fair, Global Services Sector Talent Hub fair is on Thursday, June 24th, starts at 9 a.m. If you have not registered, you can go onto any of our social media platforms and register. You can tell a friend, tell a family member. There are persons out there looking for jobs, let them know. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you to my team, Timmy and Luana, who are behind the scenes. Thank you very much, and see you guys on Thursday. Thank you. Have a good evening.